I mean, theoretically, we've always said once it goes to the Police Merit Commission, it's out in the public. That's always been the position the city has taken. Obviously, after today, we're going to have to probably redact things separate and apart if people were to request a record of what happened today, because we cannot have that stuff going out into the public.
Chief, a process server left a subpoena for your deposition on your front door, didn't he?
Yes.
And you never came to that deposition.
That's correct.
That subpoena directed you to contact me for a deposition at a time of mutual convenience, and you never did that, did you?
I did not.
Okay. But you had notice that you were to be deposed in this case.
Yeah, 36 hours. I had a tea time on Friday at 9 a.m., so I couldn't make it.
So you could have called me, though, because the subpoena wasn't for a specific time and place. It said that you were to contact me to arrange a time of mutual convenience, but you didn't do that, did you?
No, I didn't. So what he told me...
I am McMurray right now, but McMurray had to pee. So I am doing my best McMurray impression.
You can continue answering.
Amended the McDaniels report. Clearly, the fact that they're having to seek out members that are not police to be heard is an indication of a problem itself. The largest one by which you know about, and that was a nurse practitioner brought onto the city of Elkhart and all the issues
I'm going to
that came
object
with
to the
that.
relevancy
So,
of
with that
this.
said,
Councilman Henke, that's enough.
our policies are not in place. Thank you.
Just, isn't it true that Chief Seymore is currently suing you in your personal capacity?
It was a tort claim to silence me.
So then you would have a reason to be biased against Chief Seymore, correct?
I don't have a reason to be silenced in my office as a councilman.
No further
And
questions.
by the way, the city would have to defend me in that suit. Thank you.
Thank you.
No further rebuttal witnesses, Your Honor.
Not my job.
YouTubers out tonight. Channel 2 for right now. We've got the auditor out front.
So all units take your fire truck with the channel 2 so for the
The blinds are shut at the police department. Their top blockers parked outside. The parties that have been trying to get us on film doing something and causing issues for the city. They're on the sidewalk. I'm going to be back in service. Can I get a second look at auditors out?
I mean, theoretically, we've always said once it goes to the Police Merit Commission, it's out in the public. That's always been the position the city has taken. Obviously, after today, we're going to have to probably redact things separate and apart if people were to request a record of what happened today, because we cannot have that stuff going out into the public.
I'll admit this list of exhibits for whatever weight they have.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You rest.
Yes, Your Honor.
In rebuttal, I would call former Chief Seymore.
Raise your right hand, please. You swear or affirm that the testimony you give here will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Can you state your name for the record?
Chris Seymore.
And what was your title when you retired from the City of Elkhart?
Chief of Police.
And how long were you Chief of Police?
Just shy of 3 years.
And as Chief of Police, did you have occasion to work on the perf study?
Sorry?
Did you have occasion to work with the perf study?
Yes.
And can you tell us what the perf study is?
So perf study was commissioned, I believe, in 2018, maybe 19. Former Chief Snyder began that implementation of what that group's recommendations were, and that's what they were. They were recommendations to how the Elkhart Police Department could improve transparency, could improve the disciplinary process, review process, use of force, policies in general. So I took over in July of 2020. there was still a handful of those recommendations that we were working with not only the FOP but also city legal to make sure that, you know, it was something that if it fit for this police department. Again, there were recommendations. So I would say that about 98, 99% of their recommendations were implemented. The only one that I know for sure that didn't really meet their standard would be the pursuit policy that we had in place. Their recommendation was that the Elkhart Police Department follow one similar to New Orleans. Well, this isn't New Orleans. It's not designed and laid out the same way. So having EVOC, emergency vehicle operations officers that are trained in that and that give that training, review that. Our subject matter experts inside the department were part of that implementation too. So if it was use of force, our firearms instructors, our use of force instructors were part and parcel of that, as well as the administration. So in short, virtually all of those recommendations were put in place with some tweaks to make it fit for this department, because, you know, one size doesn't fit all.
And can you tell us about some of the accomplishments during your term as chief?
Oh, I don't have the exact numbers, but I know from 20 to 21, complaints were down right around 30% on officers. Use of force went down 10 or 12%. Those were things that we were super proud of, because it showed that you know, we took those recommendations serious. We put those things in place because that energy and effort was put into that by everybody involved. So it was good to see the numbers reflect that. And going out of, you know, the COVID pandemic, a lot of the overall numbers were down, but from 2020 to 2021, arrests actually went up about 45 or 46%. So arrests went up, complaints and use of force went down. That's exactly what you want to see. So we knew that these were working.
As chief of police, did you oversee the professional standards department?
Yes.
And did you oversee the 3-day suspension of Detective Phillips?
Yes.
Was it you who originally brought those charges?
I don't believe so, no.
I apologize. You were the chief
Yes,
when those
yes.
charges were brought?
Yes.
And did you have occasion to sit through the Board of Safety hearings in October 11th and October 25th of 2022?
Yes, I did.
And can you tell us whether or not this process has been fair to Joy Phillips?
Beyond. It was a kangaroo court.
Has Joy been mistreated or targeted in any way?
No, not whatsoever. In fact, I would go so far to say as it was overly fair on her behalf because of the numerous complaints, the number of them, the allegations. Everything was investigated beyond pale.
In your opinion, is Conway a credible source of information?
I'm sorry?
Is Conway a credible source of information?
No.
In one of the recordings that Detective Phillips played, Conway was discussing Captain Moore. Did he serve his 3-day suspension?
Yes, he did.
And can you tell us what happened with Conway that he could claim that he didn't serve his 1-day suspension?
Well, there's several possibilities. This was during the same time that shortly before he was put on administrative leave for the court findings that came out from the appeals court. Second is, that's kind of a personal responsibility. I mean, if you receive a suspension, you're supposed to schedule that with your immediate supervisor. And then his captain at the time should have seen to it that that day was served. I didn't take it upon myself to go micromanage and double check that captain's work, so that's on me.
Did you have occasion to watch these proceedings yesterday on WebEx?
Yes.
And did you have occasion to view Councilman Henke discuss a situation regarding Detective Clays?
Yes.
Did you agree with the way that Detective Henke described that situation occurred?
No, not at all. There were bits and pieces that were accurate, but ultimately the end of that was not.
Can you tell us your perspective on that situation?
So I received a call. I had already known about this instance where Detective Clay's dog had bit Councilman Henke's wife. I had been made aware of it like either that night or the next morning. Talked to Councilman Henke on the phone about it. The only assurance that I made was that it would be looked into and investigated. So at the time, and I don't recall exactly whether Dennis Russell was still with us or if he had retired, but I did have the occasion to talk to him to bounce off, you know, when he was the animal control officer, how would you handle this? So what he told.
I am McMurray right now, but McMurray had to pee. So I am doing my best McMurray impression.
You can continue answering.
What Officer Russell told me, former Officer Russell told me, was that in not every instance where a dog bites someone is that dog deemed vicious. Again, this is just like any other investigation. There's no cookie cutter answer. There's no, everything takes on a life of its own. So, and he added that not every owner, you know, has that dog put down. Not every owner even gets a citation for that. So there was no promise of Detective Clays being demoted for his dog's actions.
Was it in your hands whether Detective Clays would have been demoted?
No. No. If a complaint is made or allegation is made, it's first documented, it's investigated by professional standards. If evidence is found to support those charges, it's then forwarded to the Captain's Review Board. Whether they substantiate those charges, then they review everything, all of the evidence, all the information, and they make a recommendation for discipline or sanctions. Then the Chief's office reviews all of that information and can concur with that, can go against that, or can do nothing with it.
And who is in charge of discipline over 5 days?
The Police Merit Commission.
So it wouldn't have been in your power to demote Detective Clays in any case, correct?
No. What it would have had to have been is, again, go through internal affairs. They substantiate any of the evidence and charges. If it's actual policy violation, which someone's personal dog biting someone while they're at home off duty is not a policy violation. So it wouldn't even go to internal affairs to begin with unless there was an allegation that, you know, the owner let the dog loose off of a leash or gave a command to do a bite or something along those lines. But we didn't have anything like that in this instance, so it didn't even go to internal affairs. So therefore, it would not go to a Captain Review Board to issue any sanctions whatsoever. This is just like any other case that would be investigated.
Did Councilman Henke in any way indicate to you that he was upset with your handling of the situation?
We did yesterday.
Was that the first you had heard about this?
As far as the dog situation, yes. I mean, I never heard any other feedback about that. So, no, I never heard anything.
Regarding November 1st of 2022, can you tell us what occurred on that day?
I believe that would have been the day that I placed Joy on, or Detective Phillips on paid administrative leave.
And did you order 4 of your command staff to take any actions?
Yes, I did.
And what was that order?
I received information from them that she had an unauthorized personal recording device in her office within the police department. Policy state that's against policy, number one. You can't record people against their knowledge on a personal device. If you have something that you feel that warrants that, there is a process and a chain of command to go through. So I ordered them to retrieve that device.
And subsequently, was there a criminal complaint filed against EPD employees for the actions that were taken on that day?
Yes, I was notified of that the following day.
And what was, can you tell us about that, the details of that?
I was contacted by a lieutenant from Indiana State Police the following day, advising me that he had just interviewed Detective Phillips over the course of about 4 hours, and the complaint was against Captain Hamlin, Captain Whitmire at the time, Sergeant Clayball, and Lieutenant Rathel for criminal confinement.
And were the events of that day captured on body camera?
Yes.
Did you have a chance to review that body camera?
Right after the incident occurred, I viewed the entire video.
And in your estimation, was there any validity to the criminal complaint filed with Indiana State Police?
None whatsoever. She was free to leave, just wasn't taking the recording device with her. Two separate things.
Did Prosecutor Becker review the case?
Yes.
And what was her decision as regards charges on the case?
None were filed.
And do you have knowledge of what's occurring regarding those charges currently?
I believe there's an application for a special prosecutor out of Kosciuszko County.
What was the impact of Detective Phillips filing that criminal case against 4 of your command staff, including professional standards?
Well, it's pretty devastating to them because they were following orders and doing what they were supposed to do. And when a overly egregious criminal charge is filed against you as a police officer, or even an overly egregious policy violation, yeah, it affects you. It affects your work life, it affects your home life, and everything in between. So,
did it make these proceedings more difficult, the termination of Detective Phillips?
Sure.
If I were to play you the body camera from that day on November 1st, would you be able to recognize it?
Yes, I would.
If we could play what's been marked as Chief's Exhibit 48. Starting at minute 13. Minutes.
Yep, you're good. Oh. Washington's keys. Oh, see it is.
Yeah, I know. I can see if I get a way home.
Getting out of the office, are we able to
so I can go store the stuff. I gotta get changed. I gotta get down to Indy for a training.
You have to get that, oh.
It's gonna stay.
Oh, no, this is mine.
It's gotta stay.
Nope, it's got federal evidence on it from South Bend.
Unfortunately.
Nope, unfortunately, I'll call my lawyers right now, and they will go with me.
Unfortunately.
I'm telling you, no, it cannot stay.
It's staying.
This has federal, and I have a gag order on me, so no.
Joy.
It's not, no.
Anything brought
And I
into
get
the
to
building.
download everything on it, so you can't get rid of it.
Joy. Everything has got to stay.
I'm able to take about other personal effects, but you're not gonna take my recorder from me.
Correct.
Sorry, gentlemen, that I'm gonna tell you right now, that's not gonna happen, not with my lawyer. This literally has been my saving grace since day one. And you're gonna call me a liar and have Vicky Becker try to get me on being a liar when I can prove everything that I said in court? No, sorry. That's not gonna happen. Hi, Joy, can you talk for a second? So I'm sorry to bother you, I don't know if you're still out of the state, but I am being put on paid administrative leave, and I have two captains standing here at my door telling me that I can't leave with my, my recorder. Yes.
Joy.
I'm telling you, gentlemen, don't touch me. Don't touch me, gentlemen. No, you're not going to take my bag.
No, everything's
No,
staying.
no, it's not staying, okay? Here's my lawyer, okay? All right, this is Dan Pfeiffer, all right? That is my own personal, that's my personal recorder, okay? This is my personal backpack. You can take anything else you want. You can leave my computer up, that's perfectly fine. I don't care. If you're trying to access my stuff, that's fine. I don't mind, that doesn't matter, but I'm telling you, you're not taking my personal recorder.
No. I need you. The recorder's not leaving your office.
Well, then I'm not leaving this office.
George, the recorder's not leaving your office. You can take
It's my own no, this is my personal effects. These are all my personal effects. You have no legal grounds to take my stuff from me. None. You said it's pending an investigation, right? So that means investigation hasn't began. I wasn't even advised in anything. I got brought into the chief's office. You guys said that I'm under investigation, but I haven't even been advised of anything. And I get this letter saying that Vicky Becker is questioning my integrity, and you want to take the very thing that can prove my integrity. Absolutely not. No. You can take it up with my lawyer.
Go grab clay ball and raffle.
Dan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
They're trying to take my stuff from me physically. My recorder that has all the South Bend stuff on it.
Okay, but it's your personal property. You're not giving them permission to take it.
No.
They can't take it. Anything that's police department's property, they can take that.
Yeah, and they've already confiscated all that.
Okay, so they just don't give it to them.
Right. I have you on speaker, Dan, so they can hear you.
Yeah, I mean, nobody has the right to take someone else's personal property.
I don't know what you're gonna do or accomplish, but I'm not gonna give you my personal effects. Sorry. It's not gonna happen. Dan, are you able to stay on the phone with me?
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I'm down in Mexico.
I know you are.
I'll stay on the phone.
George, put your bag.
I'm not going to my bag. I'm zipping my bag up.
Put your bag down.
No, do not take my stuff from me. Do not take my stuff from me. It has my wallet and everything else in it. This is mine.
Put it down.
I'm not going to put it down. I'm leaving.
You're not.
My ride is here, and I'm leaving.
We're gonna hang tight right here.
No, we're not going to hang tight right here. You can continue to write me up.
I asked you not to touch your computer.
I just locked it. Is that okay? You won't let me take my keyboard or anything else. Andy, please move out of my way.
No.
Andy?
Joy, you brought equipment into your office. You took it. We told you not to take it.
It's
You
my
didn't need to
stuff.
take it.
It's just same as everything else in here. And I will be leaving now.
So, Detective Phillips has her attorney on the phone. She was leaving. That she snagged the electronic recording device.
Yeah, I have a
We told her
recorder.
to put it down. Told her to put it down. You shouldn't put it in her backpack. Now she says it's hers.
It is mine.
Okay, well, you need to place it back on the desk.
I'm not
and
gonna
give
place it back on the
direct
desk. It's
order.
my own personal effect. Okay, it's mine. And it has evidence of my old federal case, so no, I'm not leaving it.
Should that be determined to be true, then you will receive that back.
No, that's not gonna happen. And my lawyer's on the phone, and he's on speaker, so he can hear everything you're saying.
Okay.
And he's already advised that you guys cannot take that stuff from me, so that's where we're at.
Fantastic.
So I'm
You
gonna
were
leave
given
now,
a direct order.
and I'm gonna tell you right
to
now, you
place
don't
that
have the right
back
to do
on the
it.
desk.
No, sorry.
Are you saying you're refusing a direct order from your captain?
I've already
Yes or no?
told you, I'm going to
Did he
leave.
order you to place that back on your desk?
Not, you did, just now.
Joy, remove the recorder from your backpack and put it on your desk.
It's
The
not in my
director.
backpack, it's on my person.
Remove it from your person.
I'm not
and put
removing
on
it. You're not taking it from me. It's not gonna happen. And I'm gonna be leaving. So please step aside. I don't wanna have to move past you, but I will. Thank you, gentlemen. Please, let go of my backpack and do not touch me. Get your hands off of me.
Joy, Joy.
She can't leave with the stuff that's in this building because you'll be arrested.
It's not your stuff, it is mine. You don't have
Case law
it.
has
You know what?
stated it,
Good
right?
luck. You're not locking me in this room. Dan,
Joy,
I'm leaving.
take a breath.
No, you're going to let me out now. You're not gonna confine me. Let me out now.
We need our
Let me out. It's not your property, it is mine. It's an Olympus. You don't have it, it's not yours. I know what my rights are.
There are videos that you have downloaded
Videos I've downloaded, okay, go ahead and continue.
that could be on there, and we need those.
No, it's a voice recorder only, and it's mine,
How do we know that?
because I just told you.
Prove it to us.
Uh-uh. I don't need to. It's my own personal property.
How do we know that?
I just told you.
That doesn't mean much to me.
Well, I'm sorry, but I want to leave.
My understanding is that there's case law that says anything brought inside the police department under the employment, that if it could be.
Under the employment, it's my own personal property.
Yes, could be subject to search.
Okay. You need to have a seat.
No, you can take it up with my lawyer. He's on the phone, so
Right.
feel free to ask him all the legal questions you want. I'm not leaving, I'm leaving now.
You can
My
have
day's
a-
over. No, I'm on administrative leave now. I'm leaving the building. Please move out of the way.
Have a seat.
No, sir.
We need to have a conversation with some people before you leave.
No, I'm leaving now. Dan, do I have the legal right to leave?
Well, you're on administrative leave, and they ordered you to stay there. I'm not gonna tell you to leave, but they ordered you to stay there, but they can't take your personal property.
Have a seat.
So I'll stand right here.
Have a seat.
I'll stand right here.
Okay. City legal, and go that way before we do anything else. Watch that paint. You're making this a lot rougher.
I am not making it a lot rougher. You're making it a lot rougher on me by not doing the right thing ever, so.
I mean, your own attorney told you he wasn't gonna tell you.
Oh, he didn't say to stay, and he didn't say to give you my stuff. He told me to stay here and listen, and that's fine. Go ahead and try to keep me here. I'm not going to remain. I'm going to leave, okay? You cannot keep me here.
You realize you're doing this, getting yourself into more trouble?
I think I'm already there, thanks to you gentlemen. We're good. We're good. You're doing this to yourselves right now. How long do you plan on keeping me?
Until we get an answer on what we're going to do from city legal.
Okay.
If they say you can leave, then we'll let you leave. If they say we have the right to take your stuff, and then we'll take it.
You're not taking my stuff.
You realize we don't want all your stuff. We just want the recording.
You're not taking my own personal recorder. Sorry. That's not going to happen. Never. My ride is here.
Yeah, you're being ordered to stay.
And I'm telling you, my ride is here. Would you like to escort me out so I can tell him that I'll be right there?
Yeah, you're not leaving here right now. Sit in the squad car, please.
I don't know what happened. Oh, boy, there. You're still on speaker.
Okay.
I think enough time has gone by to get a hold of city legal. What's the time limit here? Because I'm not going to stand here and wait.
There is no time limit, and you're being ordered to stand by.
That's fine, and I will go ahead and disobey then, because I don't care. I need to leave. I have kids at home. That's more important to me than this right now.
Okay, you're being ordered to stay.
And I'm telling you that I'm leaving. Hey, Dan?
Yes.
I've given enough time, okay? With no, it's been 37 minutes past my shift, so this is now past the time that I would have for a lunch. So now it's impeding on my own personal time. So now.
But that happens always, right?
I understand that. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave.
Right?
I'm gonna get home. I'm gonna go home. So yeah, I'm on administrative leave, right? So I'm going to leave now.
Let them know you'll be available by phone.
Here we go.
No, that's not.
That is my lawyer, okay? I'm asking that you move out of my way. You can't physically keep me in this room, gentlemen. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
We're waiting.
Excuse me, and I've already waited. You can contact me after the fact.
Waiting for city.
Please move out of my way.
We're
Please.
waiting.
You're not gonna hold me in here like hostage. Excuse me. Please let me go. Please. No, and it's a lawful order for me to leave. I'm leaving. You cannot keep me hostage in this room.
Joy, you're taking this.
No, I'm not taking it. Okay, you are. Please move out of my way.
We're waiting.
Please move out of my way.
We're waiting for.
I am asking politely, please move out of my way.
I understand. We're waiting.
And I'm asking that I can leave. Thank you. My right is here. Okay, he has things to do, and so do I. So please move out of my way.
Joy.
Please move out of my way.
It's a legal order.
It's not a legal order, okay?
It is a legal order.
No, you're
is.
asking me to stay, and I've already told you I've given you enough time.
It is a legal
Dan,
order.
there has to be something I can do here. You guys cannot barricade me in this room. They're barricading me in a room. I have three, Dan, I have 3 men. I have 3 men that are standing physically in the way of the door. I cannot get out.
All she has to do is.
I am. So,
All she has to do.
no, I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do, okay? I'm being falsely imprisoned right now. You need to let me go. Excuse me. Please move.
We're waiting for city legal.
Dan, I have you on speaker.
There is a reason for this because of the recording device.
It's my own personal audio
We
recorder.
don't know that.
Yeah. Yes, you do. You don't have any. Did you issue me any? No.
I didn't issue you
Right.
anything.
Do you have one from the department?
Did you have a gun?
Did you have one from the department?
Did you have a gun?
We would all be issued one, right?
No, that's not true. Not everybody gets.
Okay,
the
but
same
you're an
record.
investigator, I'm an investigator, he's an investigator, right? And none of you have a department issued voice recorder, do you? No, you don't.
I did at one point.
Well, this isn't yours. I've never been issued one, ever. So now I'm asking you to move out of my way. Please move out of my way.
Joy,
No, I'm
stop.
telling you, please move out of my way.
Stop.
Please move
We're
out of my way.
waiting for city legal.
And we've waited long enough.
And as soon as they give us.
We've waited long enough. I'm leaving now. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Please move out of my way. Please move out of my way. I think I've waited long enough.
Okay, just so you know, that this is gonna be additional policy charges on you.
That's perfectly fine. We're going to federal court anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I don't think it's,
Thank you.
I mean,
Could Joy have left the room at any time without her personal recorder?
Yes.
Was it Joy's choice to stay in that room?
Yes.
No further questions.
Chief, a process server left a subpoena for your deposition on your front door, didn't he?
Yes,
And you never came to that deposition.
that's correct.
That subpoena directed you to contact me for a deposition at a time of mutual convenience, and you never did that, did you?
I did not.
Okay. But you had notice that you were to be deposed in this case.
Yeah, 36 hours. I had a tea time on Friday at 9 a.m., so I couldn't make it.
So you could have called me, though, because the subpoena wasn't for a specific time and place. It said that you were to contact me to arrange a time of mutual convenience, but you didn't do that, did you?
No, I didn't.
You testified earlier that you thought that the process by which Joy Phillips was disciplined was fair.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yet she was never interviewed by Internal Affairs, was she?
No.
Okay. So officers who complained against her or whose evidence was used against her were interviewed by Internal Affairs, but her opportunity to state her side of the events did not occur until after career-threatening charges were brought against her.
Well, she's not entitled to an interview. If the facts are readily present, there's no reason to interview somebody. I've made hundreds of arrests without interviewing somebody. If probable cause exists and you don't need to interview them, you don't. No different than a policy violation. If you don't need to interview somebody, no reason to. If the facts are readily present.
Joy Phillips wasn't under arrest, though.
No.
She was being disciplined as an employee.
Correct.
And there is a process, and she has rights as an employee.
But no right to an interview.
Okay.
Let's make that clear.
Okay.
There is no right to an interview in an internal affairs investigation.
What you mean is that there is no policy, but that's correct, right? There's no policy saying she is entitled to an interview.
Or a right to an interview, correct.
But my question to you earlier was this fair? Is it fair that Joy Phillips does not get interviewed and does not get to tell her side of the event until after discipline is brought?
You're asking me if I think it's fair?
Well, I know you think it's not fair, but it's not fair.
No, I think it is fair.
There's no policy at the Elkhart Police Department that says an officer can't have a personal recording device, is there?
Yes, there is.
No, what is that policy?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have a policy manual in front of me. I could tell you that you're not allowed to have a personal recording device and record other officers. Okay. If you bring personal items, i.e. a computer, personal recording device, it is subject to search. That's a policy.
That policy refers to a personal communications device, doesn't it? That's the language, a personal communications device.
Okay.
In other words, a cell phone.
A recorder.
No, a cell phone. A personal communications device is a cell phone.
Computer, recorder, anything used to communicate, you betcha.
And you can't communicate with a recording device. That's one way.
Well, you can communicate what somebody else said. It's been done here all week.
Cannot communicate with another person using a recorder.
That's fair.
You said earlier that Joy Phillips was free to go anytime she wanted.
Correct.
As long as she handed over her property.
Correct.
Okay.
The recording device.
And just to be clear, you didn't have a court order for her to turn that over.
No.
You didn't have probable cause for that a crime had been committed.
No, not at that time.
But she wasn't free to go unless she gave those officers her personal property.
The recording device.
And there's no debate, by the way, is there, that was her personal property?
Guess not, no.
Okay. So she could leave as long as she gave them her stuff.
Right.
So that is no different than a strong-arm robbery.
I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer.
The victim of a robbery is free to go as long as he gives the robber his property, isn't he?
No. That's a little bit off. Someone getting a direct order from a supervisor that they're to stay and turn over a recording device, that they've been surreptitiously recording everyone in the detective bureau, witnesses, victims, suspects coming through, possible HEPA information being said out loud. Yeah, there's tons of what ifs. And the fact of the matter is that the direct order to stay is a legal order. You can't just walk off the job when you want. That's violating a direct order. If you work at Joe Blow's factory and walk out at noon, you're probably going to get fired, right? Why is this any different? You're given a legal order to stand by, and you disobey that order.
Your employer can fire you, can't it?
Yes.
But your employer can't take your property, can it?
Oh, I'm sure that they can.
Not without a court order. They cannot just decide you have a right to someone else's property and take it.
How about if there's a policy detailing that you sign for?
Okay. You cannot take...
You are signing for a policy that says that the department can do that, so you're acknowledging it. That's the rub here.
Sir, you have no right to take someone else's private property without their permission or without a court order. You couldn't take a citizen's property without a court order or at least probable cause that a crime had been committed.
Yes, you can.
You cannot take a citizen. So you're telling me that you can take a citizen's property at any time without even probable cause that a crime has been committed?
Sure. Exigent circumstances,
okay.
Asset forfeiture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
You seize people's assets, money at a drug house, pending asset forfeiture.
Okay.
You don't leave it there and wait for a court order. You seize it. If you have blood stains on the pavement and it's going to rain, you don't get a court order to seize those. It's exigent.
Okay. Joy Phillips didn't commit a crime, did she?
No.
You just said earlier she was not under investigation for a crime.
No one committed a crime here.
In fact, the Indiana State Police are So Joy Phillips didn't commit a crime, but you're saying that exigent circumstances let you take her property.
No, that's not what I said. I was giving you examples of when police officers can take someone's property. Exigent circumstances, asset forfeiture, so on and so forth. I can give you examples of that.
None of which were present here.
No, just making a point.
Okay. You can leave when you give me your stuff. Sir, that is what a strong-arm robber says to his victim, isn't it?
No, not any ones that I've worked.
No further question.
No.
Redirect.
I'm going to show what's been marked as Chief's Exhibit 6 to the chief. I think it's 701.3 there. Could you read that out to us?
701.3, privacy expectation. Members forfeit any expectation of privacy with regard to any communication accessed, transmitted, received, or reviewed on any PCD issues or funded by the department, and shall have no expectation of privacy in their location should the device be equipped with location detection capabilities.
If you could read 701.4.
Certainly. 701.4, department issued PCD. Depending on a member's assignment and the needs of the position, the department may, at its discretion, issue or fund a PCD for the member's use to facilitate on-duty performance. Such devices and the associated telephone number, if any, shall remain the sole property of the department and shall be subject to inspection or monitoring, including all related records and content at any time without notice and without cause.
Detective Phillips agreed to these policies when she agreed to become an employee with the police department, correct?
Yes, and every time a policy is updated, every member of the department has to read it and sign off that they read it and understand it.
Could you also read 701.5 D and E?
.5 personally owned PCD. D, subsection. The device shall not be utilized to record, disclose any department business related information, including photographs, video, or the recording or transmittal of any information or material obtained or made accessible as a result of employment or appointment with the department without the express authorization of the chief of police or the authorized designee. Subsection E, use of a personally owned PCD for official police business is not recommended unless an emergency where the department issued PCD is not available. Use of the personally owned PCD for official police business may require giving access to the PCD for inspection of limited areas of the PCD for inspection and to copy data to meet the needs of the department, which may include litigation, Indiana Access to Public Records Act retention, and release obligations and internal investigations. If the PCD is carried on duty and used for official police business, members will provide the department with the telephone number of the device.
So Detective Phillips agreed to hand over any personal device that she used when she agreed to become a member of the police department, correct?
Yes.
No further questions.
Recross.
Yes, Your Honor. Detective Phillips never signed that policy, did she?
She would have had to. They were set. If she did, she's in violation of that policy.
You don't have the sign-off sheet where she didn't, where she signed it, did you?
No, it's not handy.
And if I tell you that she never signed that policy, you have no reason to disagree with me, do you?
Not on the surface, no.
Did you speak with Vicki Becker about Joy Phillips, about the letter that she submitted to you regarding Joy Phillips?
No.
Did you ask for the letter?
No.
Did you talk to her about it afterwards?
No.
Is Dustin Young a Brady cop?
No.
No further questions.
No further questions.
Any recall for former Chief Seymore?
No, sir. We do have a rebuttal witness, however.
None yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're free to go if you wish, or free to stay if you wish.
I don't have anything else.
We would recall David Henke.
I remind you, Mr. Henke, you're under oath from yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Councilman Henke. Councilman Henke, were you viewing Chief Seymour's testimony today?
I did.
Okay. Did you hear anything that you believe to be false or misleading?
Yes.
Could you please state what you believe to be false or misleading?
I'm reading.
Objection, Foundation.
He just testified that he heard the testimony.
What is is it personal knowledge, the basis of his belief that something is false?
Well, we haven't even heard what it is yet.
Okay.
You may answer, sir.
Okay. Yes, I was looking, and it actually was a great part of the animal control law in the City of Elkhart. And the City of Elkhart law states that a vicious animal is considered to be one that has bitten or attacked, harmed, or with intent to harm any individual or another animal on or off their property. That's considered a vicious animal in the City of Elkhart. So you can read that most directly, and then that owner also must have $500,000 of insurance coverage, has to prove that to the police department, animal control officer. If they stop using or don't have that insurance anymore, they need to have contacted the police department. The animal, it says most specifically, once it has bit a human on or off the property, the dog animal will be taken to a shelter for no less than 10 days quarantine. So I refute this greatly because the chief did not quote the law, interpret it again on his own. It just doesn't match those of us who wrote it, and it doesn't match how it's written today.
Do you believe that, tell the commission, do you believe that the chief acted in compliance with that ordinance?
He did not. And quite honestly, that was what I talked to in yesterday's testimony. The fact that he misled my wife and I on believing that the officer would be disciplined when in fact he didn't follow the law in taking the dog, didn't follow the law with naming it a vicious animal. The dog stayed for more than 6 months before they left the property, sold the property, moved on to the county. So at that time, Chief Seymore did say, well, they're going to be leaving, so they don't want to put the dog down. They'll be leaving and taking the dog with them. Well, in the meantime, the concern of our neighborhood was for any other child, any other person, any other animal walking by that house. And still, the dog was unrestrained. That's a violation of law, local law. The dog was being antagonized. Well, it was being antagonized by its owner. That would have been Officer Clays. The dog left its property and bit a human, causing bodily harm, considered a vicious animal. Automatically, the steps are the dog is taken for no less than 10 days. That none of those incidences that were supposed to protect our neighborhood, were supposed to protect the victim, occurred. And in fact, Officer Clays has to this day never called our home, never spoken to us about the incident. Never.
Is there anything else that you considered to be false or misleading?
I do, quite in fact. I was very disappointed to watch the video because it mimics exactly what I quoted yesterday in regards to Deborah Daniels' report in the Craig McDaniel report that talked about a cowboy mentality, and I think that was just greatly displayed. I was subpoenaed. I'm in healthcare. I have to go to work, but I was subpoenaed. I took it serious. I'm very disappointed that an ex-chief of police didn't do the same thing since he was supposed to uphold the law, but evidently a tea time was more important. I just can't tell you why the department is in the shape it's in, is that type of mentality. And that's my issue, that's my fact. As a councilman, I will be digging into this. We too have subpoena power. And I just think that's the travesty we're trying to get away from. Blocking
I'm
people.
not sure how the council's subpoena power is relevant in this case.
Well, I do know, Judge, that there are other officers that carry recording devices to protect themselves. I hear them. I know that. They come to my house with that.
They're not providing evidence here today, apparently.
So I'm just saying.
Stay within the confines of the charges filed against the respondent.
Is there anything else relevant to today's testimony? And if not, then thank you for your service. But if there is, please state that to the commission.
The only thing that I would suggest, and firsthand knowledge, is how many police officers contact me because they can't seem to go upline. So I do think we have policy breaches, and as much as internal they feel as though they have put pen to paper, implemented the McDaniels report, clearly the fact that they're having to seek out members that are not police to be heard is an indication of a problem itself. The largest one by which you know about, and that was a nurse practitioner brought onto the City of Elkhart and all the issues that came with that.
I'm going to object to the relevancy of
with that
this.
said,
Councilman Henke, that's enough.
Our policies are not in place. Thank you.
Just, isn't it true that Chief Seymore is currently suing you in your personal capacity?
It was a tort claim to silence me.
So then you would have a reason to be biased against Chief Seymore, correct?
I don't have a reason to be silenced in my office as a councilman.
No further questions.
And by the way, the city would have to defend me in that suit. Thank you.
Thank you.
No further rebuttal witnesses, Your Honor.
Hey, Rocky, do you support the First Amendment?